In part five, we're going to talk about fixing the mesh components and colliders in your map so that the player's experience is of higher quality and we're not shooting the air and we're only hitting objects that should be hit. So let's get to it. Okay, let's get started. We're back in our map. We're going to fix a couple items. We noticed that in our walkthrough, and I wrote down with my pencil and paper that this item was something that the gun was able to was the bullets were hitting, so colliding. Talk about how the game engine works a little bit and give you the theory behind this. So every asset in Unity is going to have a renderer and a collider. This is a prefab, meaning it has two items within it. And that way, because I select that, I don't see anything in the inspector. I'll have to go look into the different components. So it actually includes a fence and the lattice. They're two separate items. And so for everything in Unity, you're going to see there's a renderer, and without that renderer, you won't see the actual item, and then the collider. And this tells the game engine that there's a physical object there, and to treat me as though I am physical. So if an other object collides with it, there should be the game engine respond to that. In our example, the lattice is also, of course, a renderer and also has a box collider. We can actually see the collider if you click this little display here, and that's fine. If that was sized wrong, that would be a problem, but it's within the boundaries of the lattice. And so to fix this for Onward, we want to let Onward know, hey, I know that this is a collider, but it's okay if you shoot through it. And the way to do that is setting the physical material. We're going to hit add component and type in ph, and you'll see physical material will show up. Onward provides this script that you can add to any item. Without adding it, every box collider is going to be concrete. That's the default value. And so we want to change this to be something other than concrete, and the list is here. This list is available in our guide, and it'll explain in more detail, but essentially for glass, glass normal would be it slightly reduces the bullet and damage. Unpenetrable, which would provide the sound of glass, but the bullet would still stop. And of course, glass effects, which we're going to select here. So as the bullet goes through that, you might hear a noise, but it will not stop it at all. It'll provide no reduction in strength of the bullet as it goes. That's what we want for lattice, at least in my opinion. You may want to set it to slight reduction if you feel like it could hit the chain link. My opinion. Now, the AI also would not be able to see through this and be able to react to a person or a character on the other side unless we check this box here. So we need to set the material for a shooting, and then we also need to tell how the AI is going to react to that. And the default value is that they cannot see through colliders. And for that reason, we would need to check the AI can see through. That will take care of our lattice. We'll need to do that throughout the map. If you're building a map from scratch, then you would want to apply this to the prefab in your asset and save that. And then as you drag in the fences, they would come already pre-built with the physical material attached. And it would save you having to find all the lattice, which is what I would have to do because I downloaded this free map. So I'm going to search for lattice. I'm going to have to go to every single item and add the physical material. I've already done a few here. All right, so we've now kind of talked through how to, find all your lattice, get them all fixed, and go through and check, make sure that they all have glass effects attached to them. let's get into a couple other things that we found. So I think, if I recall, there was an issue right here. So this item here, I was shooting into the air and the bullets were stopping. This is super annoying to players. And as you can see, there's a box collider on this. Now you have two options here. One is you could make the box collider, put 3 box colliders, one on the pipe and one on each of these here, or you can just remove the box collider, add a mesh collider, and that mesh collider is now going to shape itself in relationship to the mesh renderer, and it will allow the bullets to pass through. So this box will no longer exist, and the mesh. So I'm going to remove the box, remove component, and now there's just a mesh on this, and we should be good. All right, so I think there was another area over here we wanted to fix, which was this fence here. So this was really annoying if you have someone on the other side of this and you want to shoot through, and this box collider. So let's remove that box collider, add a mesh collider, and remove this component. And now that fence will be, you'll shoot exactly what's there. And that's what you're going to want to do throughout the map. Whenever you find something that is, you know, is you're hitting the air instead of hitting the object. Box colliders are going to be fine for things that are square. They're just not going to work on things with any kind of shape to them. I think I found a couple items while I was looking earlier. One of them is, look at this building. It's got this invisible look to it, but you'll notice you can see it on one side, but you can't see it on the other side. And that has to do with the how it's being rendered. So let's select this item and look at our hanger material, and you'll notice that the render face, if you look at the surface options on the hanger, that it's set to front. And so we want to set that to both. And now both sides of that item will be rendered. Yeah, I don't think this is meant to be out in the middle of nowhere, quite frankly, and that's the problem. This asset was meant to be up against this wall. Put it back up against the wall, and now that should not be a problem. I also noticed that when I was building this little area out to make it playable for some spawns, that I slightly missed the gap here. Let's just fix that real quick. We'll just slide this forward, make sure it's clean. Yeah. So users can't see through the air. That doesn't really harm the gameplay. It just kind of hurts the integrity and quality of your map. So that's good. And then I think that was so, I'm going to stop this tutorial here. We've talked about mesh rendering, mesh colliders, how to fix invisible walls. I think you have the tools you need to go through and do a detailed walkthrough of your map, make sure everything works and is, the player experience is going to be of high quality. Do not skimp on this, because players will find and complain